Now it's time for us to move over for parenting. Now this is something a lot of parents are going through. Their kids are having excessive amounts of screen time. So we're here to talk about the impact of this screen time with parenting coach Sandra Oluwadare. Now she's the founder of Winning in Parenting, a platform which supports and mentors parents on how to raise wholesome and well-balanced children. It's a pleasure having you in the studio with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so I'm a big fan of screen time. I've been through the ringer with my mom and other aunties with the amount of screen time I've given my kids. And they have said it's like an escape route, you know, and a lot of parents are using it as an escape route. So what are the issues that parents need to take note of when it comes to giving their kids screen time?
Okay, you know, the screens are a good window, you know, to the outside world. And it's not as if the media is bad in itself, but I believe there needs to be a balance in everything we do. We need to get to a point where we're able to balance the online and offline activities of our children. So, like you said, it's actually an escape route for a lot of parents because they want to do other things, you know, but they don't get the time, so they just want the TV or the screens to babysit their children. But the thing is, that purpose or that objective can be abused if we are not actively, you know, letting these children get engaged with screen time. So what I mean by that is you just let the child go, you know, all by himself. He's on the screens, engaging and all of that. You know, there are a lot of teachable moments that could spring from that time he's spending on the screens, but because he's been babysitted, you know, so there's nobody to guide him or her, so he's just there all by himself. So the full impact is not really gotten, especially for toddlers. You know, so it's very important that we co-watch with children. So if you want the children to have that screen time, yeah, one of the things you can do is to co-watch with them. But
so be there with them as they're watching.
So that you can point out the lessons, because every family should have family values, the things that your family stands for, the things you live by, you know, so, and the screens can actually give you an opportunity to point out these things to your children. But when you're not there, they're just there watching the cartoons and all of that. So many characters that you're not even sure of what they're passing to your children. At the end of the day, you wake up and you don't realize who your children are.
That's a very interesting angle there. So in the end, what they're seeing on screen tends to indirectly shape their personalities.
Yes, it does, a great deal.
Now, when it comes to bringing up kids, it's often said that parents can't give what they don't have. So in other words, the learnings coming from that screen time can also be positive. Right? So by sitting with them, what so if you were sitting with your son or your daughter right now, what would you press pause on when it comes up on the screen to give a learning opportunity? Okay,
so if I'm watching the TV or any whatever that has to do with the screen with my child, and then I see that, okay, somebody just did something, maybe a superhero, children love superheroes, a superhero just rescued someone, I'm going to take advantage of that. Oh, darling, did you see what just happened? Oh. So when you find yourself in situations like this, just make sure you look out for ways you can help other people. It can be as small as, you know, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 2 minutes, you know, just make sure you pass some kind of information to the child. And then somebody behaves badly and then you don't let it slide. You're like, oh, God, what did that girl just do? What do you think? You also need to sample their opinion so you can understand what's going on in their head. What do you think about what she did? So if the child leads you on with his own information, you get to the point where you realize, okay, I need to work on this area because he's getting it wrong. You know, so you are able to, based on your values, you're able to say, okay, this is what I want. This should be a teachable moment for my child. But when you're not there, you just keep going on and on.
So there have been a lot of debates, especially on social media, as to whether certain types of content, like Nollywood content, for instance, is wholesome enough for young people. And then, of course, there are the issues of drugs and blood money and all sorts of things that a lot of Nollywood movies have focused on in the past. Yeah. Now, a lot of parents, when they come home from work, they just want to wind down, but they also want their kids around them. So screen time also happens when the parents are watching different types of content.
Yes.
So what advice would you give parents right now who don't mind when the African channels are on when their kids are around?
Okay, so I would say that once you decide to have children, or once the children are in the picture, as a parent, you lose your 100% privacy.
Okay.
So there are things that you really have to sacrifice. It depends on what is important to you. Like I said earlier, what is your value system? So because parents are models, they can't give what they don't have. So if a parent sees that, oh, this content is okay, I don't see anything wrong in it, there's nothing you're going to tell that parent. But what I would say is your children we should not even be worried that they're not listening to us. We should be worried that they're watching us. Okay. So it's not even about what you say. So when you have your children seated next to you, when you're watching some kind of content, it is advisable you either send them away or you just turn off whatever it is you're watching, because they're going to take it in. They're going to absorb that content. And when you're not there, they're going to search for it themselves, because they're already getting used to it. They're internalizing it. And, they're going to begin to look forward to it. So I would say that you lose a certain amount of your privacy when you begin to have children. You have to make sacrifices. For me, for example, when I'm scrolling through social media, because we know how things are evolving, I was telling some of the parents in my community, my children can't sit near me because I'm scrolling. It's not like I'm even following some people, but some content that I see, sometimes I have to turn my phone, so I'm conscious. So I think parents should wake up to that call that you should really sanitize the kind of content you let out in your home.
Now, of course, this conversation is not one that we can start and finish in a segment like this, but we can, of course, continue on social media. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Make sure you use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Ask your questions. Let's see if we can engage and help you through this journey. When it comes to screen time and your kids, we have to go to a quick break, but Wake Up Nigeria continues.